DoomGuy, Slayer of Demons, Impregnable Force, Scourge of all of Hell, One-Man Juggernaut, a whole build different Punisher of pain, viciousness, and mercilessness. Rip and tear, the man himself. First is Kratos, Scourge of Olympus, infamous Spartan, god of war, god of hope. Two people that are a standpoint and catalyst for games, making the iconic case of arguable genre of motherfuckers too angry to die, with so much resilientness and so much resourcefulness, all tied in an unloading, unwavering knack for devastation to their enemies. Two one-man army of all different exclusion. They have been pitted against each other in multiple forms, matchups, a possible death battle might be in pursuance for this, and most importantly, I have been requested to make this video. I'm hoping that you guys will enjoy as always. Why, in the title, why DoomGuy versus Kratos is kinda complicated. With that being said, I hope you guys will enjoy as well. Give different content I have in mind. If you guys are new here, please leave a like, share, subscribe, comment, hit the bell icon, will really help me out. Enough with the talk. Without further ado, let's go and get it in. As always with Kratos, I've thought about him and other people of God of War for a very long time, and as always, I want to go and have this be to the best, concise, to the point, best form. And even though the video is going to be long regardless, and my shameless plug, why Kratos versus some will call isn't a debate video, that shit was pushing almost an hour long, and even though I think that video was very good, a lot of you guys liked it, I don't think you guys are going to just rehear the same thing. So as always, with a bunch of characters I've talked about before, I'm going to be playing a mixed short, edited version down, but as well fast forwarded version at the same time, so you guys can get the full big niche of what Kratos is, right? If you want to get a full elaborate, full taken video, of course my original video where this greater case of big in-depth overlook of the character comes from is from my shameless plug Hulk vs Kratos video, but as well watch the Kratos vs Some Will Call video if you want more. Besides that, I hope you guys will enjoy it. Again, my talk of Kratos again, I just kind of want to make that clear for you guys who are not in the know. And obviously we're going to be talking about DoomGuy, aka DoomSlayer. With that being said, let's actually go and fully get on.
Kratos, the son of Zeus, son of a mortal woman. 13 kilometers, it seemed like a different estimate outside of Sparta, but then came to Sparta. His mother was shunned because of the fact that she was the caregiver of not only the fortunate news that not only this village, but as well a great deal possibly all of Greece would be changed, because she was hailed the child of Zeus. This man Kratos is very similar to this man Hulk, and not only from a young age going through a grueling childhood, but as well having a life like never seen before. That scene was one for the trauma of losing loved ones in front of his eyes. He has lost both of his wives, one by his own hand, and one to a fortunate sickness, as well as the thundercracking god of the sun Odin with the sword, and as well probably hates electricity like a motherfucker. As well, they're both vengeful, powerful, built different ocean brutes, tall as a tree, built different Goliaths. With that being said though, when it comes to Kratos' greater mix of history, obviously he was raised up in Sparta, life was cruel, unruly, but it made him be the most determined, ambitious, ruthless, merciless, and very built different case of young Kratos against any odds stacked against him. With that being said, Kratos, easily, as a former being a Spartan warrior from a young age, was trained in all different arts of not only fighting, combat, and was a built different combatant across the board for multiple years. As obviously, as most of the Spartans that talk about with the case of Spartan customs, he was trained in stick fighting, spear fighting, adepting all different forms of not only weaponry, CQC, military tactics, submission holds, wrestling, boxing, form of different mix of kickboxing, and even street fighting tactics to use in multiple different ways. He's very strong, is very fierce, is very crazy, and is able to make any weapon given to him be utilized in any quick succession, which is why he's so good at jacking niggas for their weapons, being an absolute terror on the battlefield, becoming the youngest general ever seen in Sparta, amazing the Spartan king living up to a legacy of great Leonidas on the battlefield. As a captain of the Spartan armies ran countless waves of enemies, until facing the barbarian king, where Kratos will call out to Ares and say, "Enemies! Destroy my enemies! And my life is yours," making him be a servant to the god of war and becoming a slave to him, and only until the fateful, but as well unfaithful night of killing his own wife and daughter in the village of Athena, when he realized the monster he truly became after slaughtering countless innocents in the name of the god of war. All of his enemies not only knew him as being a scourge of Sparta, but now with the ashen skin of his family tattooed to his skin, he now became the ghost of Sparta. He already had a sick-ass tattoo that he did in not only resemblance to his little brother Deimos, that he went about going about trying to go and save, and unfortunately lost to Thanatos' bitch ass, but was made in a red scar tattoo shaped of the birthmark that his little brother Deimos had. He also had to kill his own mother from her literally being bewitched to not even speak that she was the caregiver of literally Zeus' child and could not speak of having his child or be turned into a monster like never seen before. This again had this man Kratos have to kill his own family for the big first time, and would have this man go down dry lot of the most unfortunate, down bad, trodden type of means. He also had to kill one of his first allies, an oracle, son of Ares and the Furies, and man just has been through so much unfortunate shit. Betrayed by his own father, had to kill his own soldiers, had to lose countless people, and the comfort of bad bitches could not quench his vengeance. It could not quench his memories and his past hauntings. Haunted by the visions and unfortunate curse of his past deeds, haunted by the screams of his wife and child as he slew them in front of him, and at the same time just the countless array of bad deeds that he's done. Countless servitude to the gods, and Athena and Zeus and others did not make a difference. The promise of the Olympians meant nothing, but it was all he had, even. Because remember, this is the same man that stopped Persephone from tearing down the pillar of order that gave life to the entire case of not only the Greek pantheon, but was the way of life for just existence at this time, and had to leave his daughter Calliope in the field of Elysium, even though he promised never to leave her again. Fortunate things. When it comes to like actual power scaling and actual, merits of different aptitude and accolades, he has defeated countless, not only Greek legends, Greek gods, demigod level echelon of beings, but as well stood test to test against multiple wicked creatures, has defeated the Persian king, has stood the test of time being a built different regarding not only arsenal dude, but as well person that can tap into multiple different array of ridiculous maneuvers and different combat prowess with different weapons. He was cursed with the blades of chaos, his most trusty weapons, that have arguably at the point of the Norse saga been seen to be better weapons than ever seen before, but as well as arguments for Pete God of War 3 Kratos, which is where we tap into another argument, being in this sense that I properly believe that Greek side of Kratos has every reason to be stronger than Norse Kratos, not only because he has more weapons, he has more of the power of hope, he has a lot more crazy shit, and there's a lot more just narrative, I feel like, dissonance between both that show him to be greater, especially if I perceive the arguments for a lot of what Kratos says about the Norse saga, and just the fact that, Kratos has showcased multiple times that even though he's not weaker so much to say, he's just not as, crap as his younger self used to be, at least base-wise in general. Don't get twisted, I think there's a lot of arguments that you could say in a greater overarching version, that Kratos maybe, pit for pit, could be stronger, as again, I reference my, God of War power scaling tales, but I think base-wise, Kratos is better. He obviously has the blades of chaos from primordial fire, literally made in the deepest part of Tartarus, made in the vile pits of the furnace of Hades, made by the great smith god of Festus. These blades were literally complemented by the brothers that made Mjolnir and the Leviathan knife, two weapons that are able to shake all the 9 realms, have time to be able to splinter Yggdrasil, and be crazy, colossal weapons like never seen before, and match them against incredible odds, and somewhat be able to be stronger and better than different odds and collision force that others in comparison could not. So with that being said, I believe in every case of the way that there's reasonableness to fully say that this man Kratos, because of having blades by the word of Athena, and being made to be way more better than the comparison, the blades of chaos in general, are just so much higher octane capable. So that's why, starting off this conversation, we're going to start off with God of War Norse saga version of Kratos, the old Kratos, Kratos, before we talk about his Greek saga part. When it comes down to Norse pantheon, he multiple times are not on the scale to the same accolades as his beloved wife, Laufey, the great sis of the Jotnar, mother to Atreus, right, his greatest love, and we'll be saying to Baldur, we'll be saying to the sons of Thor, vanquished dragons, scale very much highly, and has multiple different echelon of feats, not only in God of War 4, but as well multiple things beyond that shows him to be ridiculously on the scale for some very much built different Vatos. I mean, this man Baldur, even though a lot of context is involved, was able to knock out Jormungandr when he couldn't, obviously fight, because obviously he had, Atreus and this man Kratos inside of him. He also didn't know where he was, but so much to scale under the mixed narrative of Thor fighting Jormungandr, which again shook all the 9 realms, splintered Yggdrasil, which is a body that holds a multiverse, which is easily 5D, push maybe fucking 6D such talk and power scaling, very much crazy, and this multiple times over has a stack of the greatest odds. He defeated the Valkyrie Queen, who was easily mixed bag second to third to Freya at this known point, even with the Gna in question. This man is just a built different dude. In Ragnarok, he shows multiple times to scale very much up front against multiple people, helped in the defeat of the Gna, with Freya. He defeated Nidhogg with Freya. He defeated Heimdall, who obviously helped him drop near, which I'm gonna type into, the weapons and what he's great to do. But, stood to Thor. Everything I show in screens is a demonstration for how crazy built different this nigga Kratos is. When it comes down to the Leviathan knife, it obviously produces code, more code than anything else. It was ingrained with over 1,000 souls of Helheim. The coldest realm of all the 9 realms is ridiculous, in magnitude. The Leviathan knife obviously scales to Mjolnir. It's very crazy. It's ambidextrous. It always returns back to Kratos' hand when he opens up his hand. It's very versatile. It's arguably way more better than even Mjolnir in some aspects of just bang for bang efficiency, and it's very much a weapon that collaterally different correspondence to different things is able to make the most greatest not only impact, but multiple cases of collateral instinctual built differentness. The blades of chaos, again, have always been shown to be his one, if not the most crazily wicked weapons in his visual showcasing, for being very versatile, having multiple rare capabilities to do things. It has literally primordial fire in it. They were blessed most likely by Surtur in the case of them literally being filled to the hottest core, and with the blades of chaos allows this man Kratos to be beyond most niggas' comprehension. Kratos is that nigga. If anybody stands to Kratos with these blades, they steal and sting like no other. They're unbreakable. They're cursed to follow this man Kratos until death, and their weapons like no other. Draupnir's spear was made for Heimdall to disorientate, and as well, obviously, restore his mind, but Draupnir is infinite. He can create infinite size amount of these spears. The spears are able to cause wind manipulation, able to blow up on an infinite regard. They're very unique. He's very skilled with the spear. He has a shield of Fae that is pretty much what a new upgrade, unbreakable. It's able to shift and turn into multiple different things to help Kratos with more durability. Spark fire, chain connect with the spear and blades of chaos. It is very good. It's very protective. He uses it akin to Captain America with vibranium shield, pretty much radiating over all of it. And Kratos multiple times, again, in comparison to multiple scales with characters, is very much a resistant person. He's resourceful, a rack of all trades. The dude is built different across the board. Any person that comes against him is able to not only adapt to and best, but to showcase ridiculous strength. Not only physical regard against Thor, physical regard against multiple different people of very much the same strength like Baldur, to maybe mix, low end stand. He's able to kill multiple famed people across the Norse pantheon, even stood to Odin and a jumping with Freya and his own son. I would say that easily Kratos by this point is easily under reasonable record form to be at low end and low multiversal, right? Or reasonably pushing to the low complex multiversal stretch mid depending perceived. But some people think because of how you show it set up and the shaking, the splintering, all these other correspondence shit that could push into boundless, aka possibly outer versal record form. But not only do I feel like it's not very much concrete consistent, but most people in multiple times consecutively across multiple other layers of not only the pantheon and every construction does not really make sense for it, and there's every I feel like reasonable argument to reasonably proclaim that in this sense doing a lot of these things only affect a little small body of it, and it's not the same as in the greater array of niggas, or even like someone like this man Ragnarok, who's actually a threat to the entire case of, the Earth tree that shook it to its very roots. It's also not the same thing as being literally conceptually a whole being. Obviously Ymir was defeated by obviously Odin. Kratos scales over in case we know Ymir, and multiple tales and vision of obviously involving the destruction of the 9 realms would succeed in reasonably declaring that. So, in conclusion, I feel like this is reasonably where Kratos would stand consistently with his character and everything that he said. In speed department, though, he reasonably because of this upscaling shit I'm going to be talking about in Greek saga in comparison, and just shit that's shown in this with characters that easily have, multiple facets and approachable, speeds, of multiple different height and stature, of being people that are people not to be trifled with in multiple occasions. This to me would suffice to say very much conclude these characters being reasonably standing between lowest end, massively facet and light, reasonably inaccessible as people that do not seem to be bothered by time or any affliction of that, but immeasurable is very much a concrete way to establish his speed, as not only is Kratos able to react to a god that's messing with time in Heimdall, but is able to punch through rifts, punch through portals, stand up people that are able to shape multiple ridiculous bodies and stances in time, and as well able to exist between a plane of not only reality and different spatial talks and conceptions on multiple fronts of like on the screen right now that go into detail on how reasonably immeasurable is pretty persistent with not only him but other people, as obviously I talked about Thor, Freya, reasonably Heimdall, other characters that should scale to their speed, and this would be consistent with Greek Kratos, which is now where we tap into the famed original Ghost of Sparta, the original D1 menace of them all. So when it comes down to the Greek saga, he not only would scale to multiple different applicable people of different radical speed, as he's able to catch up and even put the fucking beats on Hermes or Godsking injured or not, scale to him, hold him off, catch him mid-drop kick to rock his shit against the floor like he's Hagar. And this man Hermes is said to be beyond infinity. He's able to react and be the only guy to more directly gods and not just react to the speed of Helios, which is able to fill an entire infinite universe in or case of underworld in the sense of Tartarus, which is said to be infinite and not finite like Helheim, making it infinite speed. But even can arguably give additional speed arguments because Hermes and a bunch of other people have the mixed claim of as well being way more fast than other characters that are said to be able not only to push beyond infinity and not to be affected by time, neither being of the essence, aka being able to exist in without finding time like spaces, aka additional credit people that Kratos arguably scale way more higher than, even not at God of War 3 in comparison, in mid-different stance, someone like Thanatos, other record different people across the board, scale to Zeus in God of War 2, obviously banging out with Hercules, who is a big-ass foe, kin to this man Hulk, that this man Hulk is also banged out with in his own version of Hercules, right? Would reasonably make him inaccessible, and this is a bigger thing because, even though some people like to say that he does it somehow, it's dumb as shit, Kratos scales to the primordials, aka beings that existed when time wasn't a thing, they fought in a place where time didn't even exist, and as well, we're just facing someone like Zeus and scaling over a titan that literally is a time titan to even god deity, like no other, in the matter of Kronos, who literally pure birth, created time conceptually, and be over a bunch of other people in that same record and echelon, would concisely, I feel like most definitively conclude reasonably that these niggas are reasonably reaching for not only inaccessible, but to imagine, especially when we talk about the fact that Zeus being just top dog of the Olympians over scale almost every realm of purpose, not only for conversation, and the talk of like who can scale to pit for pit, bang for bang, ball for ball, layers of these different concepts, scales over the theories, scales over the sisters of fate, even with their time manipulation, and there's just multiple characters across the board, not even just talking about Greek, but I would reasonably say with Norse, that can conclude that Kratos within God of War 3 is easily of that speed. From defeating multiple different great odds and people and amps across all the Greek saga, he would reasonably be one of the most tremendous build different powerhouses, including how he even got his power to even kill a god before, was opening Pandora's box at Pandora's temple, which opened not only the greatest weapon, the weapon to kill a god, hope, but also unleashed the vile, devilish, disastrous, unwavering and unrelenting, force of evil that is fear incarnate, that corrupted the gods upon Olympus and scoured over them and made them literally by just existing, turn into the most negative, fueled by fear and horrid regard type of beings in existence. He was able to not only defeat Hercules, as I said before, he defeated Hades, he defeated Poseidon, he defeated multiple record flame-bearing people, he cut Aphrodite's cheeks, he killed Hephaestus, he was able to perfect against the sins of fate, like I said, he was able to fight against the Furies, he killed Thanatos, he killed multiple other regarded people, legends, monsters, became a literal force to be reckoned with across Greece. And therefore, by greater stance talk, my man as well wields the blade of Olympus, made by Zeus, that not only is one and not the most powerful weapon in the Greek saga, shit, even arguably all of God of War, where he was able to wipe niggas off the senses, wipe multiple cases of titans off the face of the earth, run them out of existence with conceptual ratio, is very built different as a form of colossal weapon, was made by Zeus himself, and is a great demonstration of what it means to be OP with just a blade. The blade of Olympus is one of the not most built different weapons I have seen, but is a weapon that is akin to the fucking gauntlet of God of War. It's a built different weapon, and this man Kratos with it is a force to be reckoned with. Not only can he conceptually raise people, he absorbs godly power shown with Zeus in God of War 2. It allows him to utilize electricity, fuels better power. He has a Typhon, typhoon of Poseidon. He has a net thing with him where he's able to, with a different crystal shard, go to time skip around time. He has, obviously different hacks and versatility that go beyond that with his weapons, like the Claws of Hades, that allows him to not only take somebody's soul in a tug of war, the Nemean Cestus that were granted to Hercules after defeating the Nemean Lion. He has the Blade's Exile, like I said, with his magic allows him to summon Spartans and the Phalanx, with Hades' blades, he can summon all different type of dark souls and do infinite pools and different crazy shit. He has the bow of Apollo, that's obviously the bow of Apollo, that creates a great myth of not only the most craziest fires, but as well is so fast and ridiculously versatile, and its hail of the most shit, like level of speeds, that in just being from Apollo easily reckons of the sun's light, because again, Apollo, even though he's not a full-fledged sun god, he does tie his musical instruments and as well different forms of archery to the sun. He also has the head of Helios, as I said, which does, give him a great record hold of disorientation and light speed capabilities. He has the electric blades of Hephaestus, and with this allows him to do all the spontaneous, crazy, wild form of shit, and equal the electricity of Zeus, it even seems. He's just very built different and can fly from, the wings of Icarus. I mean, this main Greek saga Kratos is just ridiculous. He's a whoppy-doo, wild proportions of an individual, and there's no denying that Kratos in the Greek saga is one of the most audaciously powerful individuals, not only in the case of the Greek saga easily, but of all of God of War. With all this being said, I think you could easily say Kratos is easily pushing from reason being stronger than not only his Norse stuff and multiple people upon the top of the Norse saga part of God of War, with scale reasonably in the stuff of reasonably being a from low complex multiversal dude to mid, and I feel like there would be a really need for hard stretch to say he's out of versal in Greek saga as well, because again, unlike comparison to Norse, even though, again, I do think he's stronger for a multitude of reasons, besides just the weapons being younger, it's not entirely a full-fledged argument, because multiple cases we know Greek gods and mixed Norse gods are stronger than their younger selves for multiple cases of reasons, but just him having a better hold of not only feats, crazy bullshit, and can full bulletin board niggas with all these weapons and scour the case of the entire fucking fight with the most radically built different horror of capabilities, but he can also just fire bulletin board niggas with the bow of Apollo or drop their spear the same. It's just the fact that all his weaponry correspond with the things that he scales to is a lot more higher. Out of Verso really comes if you think that he's like beyond all aspect of like time and space and different construction and configurement of shit. Which then some people try to say that like Kratos is a full new level of not only speed, that is a very iffy thing. Because out of Verso is a very shaky term to entirely define niggas as. And I know I've recently said that you could get Hulk to those levels, even though I feel like that's a lot more concrete, especially with all the Marvel cosmology that I'm going to tap into. But the fact is that saying that this man Kratos is out of Verso would then possibly speak to the possibility by the proxy of speed, by just existing beyond the person, then by chain scaling make everybody else that, and even possibly get into this man to like fucking irrelevant speed and just pulling more, I feel like, different like wild mental gymnastics for argumentation. But he easily again is pretty high end in the complex multiversal talk.
DoomGuy, the DoomSlayer, living executioner, nightmare, and doomsday to all of hell, putting fear in demons that have no soul. DoomGuy, the DoomSlayer, is every wrecking of rip and tear. Ruthless, unconventional, unorthodox dominator, taking out every odd that comes his way, and is undoubtedly a big ass Brock motherfucker. Got Home Depot 7s, is a big muscled up roided juggernaut, slayer, slugger, dominator. Like I said, the man dishes out every essence of being a human submarine, bro, splurging through blood instead of the murky waters. The DoomSlayer is obviously the conviction protagonist of obviously the Doom/Doom going forward series, as the classic Doom makes a 2016 Eternal in the Dark Ages is all canon, and as a person that has peaked not only to a great deal of research, played for a great deal of the classic, and mixed newer technical games, peaked them before, I've did a great deal of research to give you guys the best, I feel like, proud representation of the man himself. Name is unknown, but name really should just be a fucking twin fucking bucker tank of a man. Was a part of a multiple different form of marine units and different corps to go about defending Earth from the multi-case of different demons that would come and lay waste to humanity, and was originally sent in the form of banishment and pretty much one-note duty at Mars because of disobeying orders. This man has always been a rebel, has always been a man doing his own thing by any means necessary, and will do whatever he wants when he wants, and is the ultimate defier of any odds. This man is a big ass wrecking ball of mayhem and has scourged throughout hell for millennia upon millennia, all off the back of vengeance and a sovereign but very kind of self-destructive duty to kill every demon in his path, off the back of the chaos that they have emerged, the sins of people before him, and most importantly, to prove a point that humanity still got one big living nuke ticking. There is also the fact that obviously they took away people that he's cared about and makes reference to his family, as also as well his famed pet rabbit, Daisy, the thing that really sent him over the edge. Is also, even though, as I've done my research, not as much of a cathartic likeness and dopamine to killing demons or just killing whoever in general, like akin to the Punisher. He does kind of have seem like a very salivating lust to kill demons in a way that's more like kind of is just a part of the thing. He kind of does it for the love of the game in some aspects. Again, he's not mentally unstable, but he's definitely a D1 crasher. That's undeniable. So apologies in advance to my friend when I had this discussion if my man DoomGuy needs to be on the list for top 10 D1 tweakers of killing, because my god, this man's creativity is boundless to killing demons. Back to the point. It comes down to DoomSlayer in this greater case of history, right? The dude would go about, again, multiple different slaying different people across not only the classic ages, but as well in multiple parts of his past, referencing the Dark Ages and the other Doom games, as he would be multiple times scaling to the highest echelon of people, being a god that in his training court of being pretty much made into a demigod by dark rituals and the sinua of being a pillar of vengeance, was made into the most top dog, outskilled multiple different people, is skilled in all different forms of not only gunfare, combat techniques, is gruesome, killer, undefeated in the idea of being a pillar of vengeance, and is undoubtedly, without a doubt, undisputed case of a living armory in his own different specialties of fighting. He has so many different weaponries from different shields, splitting edge blades, has all different type of form of different axes and weaponry of demons that he's picked up along the way. He has an iconic case of Crucible blade that is pretty much equivalent to the Blade of Olympus before the case of the DoomGuy. That is the greatest weaponry that he easily arguably has. Multiple things that allow him to go about iconically shooting guns and blazing, blowing niggas up, running through different waves of demons, taking out countless different people that you see on screen of all these different Hales and unquantifies. He obviously, because of his training and being the ultimate bringer of doom, literally and figuratively, would be the best prodigy of multiple different training accolades and acclaim, as he was so much of a terrifying beast. He put hell in a frenzy because of his pure existence, and hell was literally in so much case of stress from him never leaving it and going through it by killing every single person that went in the wake of him needing to get to Mars, saving Earth, or doing whatever. Also killing the supreme creator that created all of this mess. And because of the fact of his engrueling hate, even though hell is not on the same level of like religious alchemy, you know what I'm saying, on the aspect of like sins, unforgiving darkness, and sodomy, or anything of that mixed talk and hellish fires, the fact is that DoomGuy has so much unruling hatred that when that nigga dies, he comes back with a whole different hatred in his eyes, and the man never left hell, which is why he's so much a lot of time a gapingless, bottomless pit of an individual. As you see, the man is hungry and forever insatiable when it comes down to the doom that is in his veins. He really is the eternal DoomSlayer. With all his power scaling to be brought in the different, byproduct of, because of the fact of scaling to multiple different people that outscale different planes and dimensions of hell, as hell is infinite. It is seen as a universe, right? But it has infinite pores of dimensions and talks of different dimensionality and things within art books, novelization, greater record reading within the verse, and talks of conceptions and killing different demons that have no soul, destroying them conceptually, killing different people that just scale to these different higher arguments. He'd be scaling easily from low-end universal plus to multiple times into multiversal, pushing from 5D to 6D, going way more into complex, and very much could get him infinite dimensional by all these different byproducts of explanation of his training alchemists put against different people. And even though, like I said, hell is not on the same equivalent of a religious mixed talk in comparison with hell to heaven, where again, like I said, it's on a higher esoterical mixed alchemists, to be put in this sense, or accolades, or any form of different, amalgamation of things. The fact is that he would be, because of taking out people that stand as supreme oafish creators, or people that can change different atmospheres to different conceptualization of this and this, and cram together of being a multi-case of different dimensional concept beings, and stand as primordial gods, and defeated his supreme creator that easily should be second most powerful dude in the verse, would put him easily on the scuff to being from, again, lower mid-end, high complex multiversal to very much strong hyperversal character. Then, when it comes down to speed, he was able to go about surviving multi different outskirts of hell in different planes and multiple different departments, which have no aspect of time, which should get him easily from being, and already being able to transcend universes, dimensions, you could say, get infinite speed, but then same time, give him an accessible speed from this, or to even immeasurable, aka being able to exist in planes that either don't have time or beyond time, depending on how you perceive it, but immeasurable is pretty consistent with that being said. And the dude has multiple boatload of weapons, different things about him where he's just able to brush through people with his bare hands, rage amps, speed amps, full-fledged invulnerability, unstoppable force. He has his own rage that allows him to pretty much rip through anything and beat anything down with his bare hands, which mixed canonically he did. And again, he has so many things on screen that should very much solidify him as being a built different beast like never seen before. Rip and tear is in fucking understatement. The eternal DoomGuy. If it isn't obvious by everything that I put into play here, this man DoomGuy absolutely stomps Kratos. It's not even funny. Like, don't get it twisted. Like other people, their measurable, stands and acts made for them to be where they are is very much, consistent. They're consistent. Showcases have them both be equal. But DoomGuy has a way better run of cosmology. It's kind of goofy to think about how far and great scale that he scales to, in every form of not only showcasings of his skills and accolades and weaponry and very wacky versatility would allow him to consistently, even with the arguments of them being equal in speed, allow him to slowly break down on Kratos and fully purge this dude like never seen before. Not only does he have a lot of counters within his weaponry to every form of weapon that you could give Kratos of either old Kratos, aka Norse Saga, or Kratos of Greek Saga, aka young Kratos. He can counter a lot of his strength arguments and other things because he scales way higher in different dimensionality as well. Be able to counter with his own sword that can destroy different arguments for different dimension, different high tier scaling. Granted, he has no actual concrete way to destroy someone on a hyper conceptual level like Kratos to mix arguably say, but he would kill him most of the time, as the form of like definition and conceptions and comparison is the idea to dispose somebody that doesn't even have a need for a soul or different like, you know, formal conventional existence and contextualism, while Kratos exists beyond the argument for conceptual need to exist, and by proxy provide an actual win con of needing to, you know, be taken out, especially because it's very much ridiculous to even see how he could entirely evaporate the power of hope that lives in Kratos, of just being, you know, an undeniable, unstoppable, you know, behemoth in his own right, and the idea of always reconnaissance and rekindling, you know, power and foe showing to come back. But as we've seen, Kratos can be defeated through different mix of not only physical bouts, and every time that he would come back, he should absolutely get dominated regardless of the case. And there's so many things that he could do that could very much give a win con for him. And the only way I can see a fight being close between these two is obviously equal stats. If we equal the stats, being AP already equal on speed, this is where we have multiple different interesting layers upon layers of conversation. When it comes down to weapons, I think DoomSlayer has better offense and defense, but Kratos has better mix-ups of different pit-for-pit fighting arguments with his obvious, you know, weapons. But even then, with these weapons, I see them not holding as much weight to actually defeat him, because again, his already ridiculous skills, accolades, and sheer brute strength being so much of an imposing figure that I believe they really would come down to who you think is physically stronger. If we go deliberately off of feats and consistency, Kratos should have a lot more arguments to be physically stronger, but DoomGuy does do a lot of different heavy, not only lifting, doses, and AP different showcasing. So I think even if you're going to argue Kratos can be mixed different conventionally physically stronger, that his own skill set can very much prove better than Kratos, maybe because of the type of training that he's been through. And even though Kratos was trained from a very young age, is the best Spartan ever lived, is in depth in different great sense of martial arts, like I said before, and is one adaptable, built different, you know what I'm saying, one-man army, an onslaught. This man DoomGuy has trained for hundreds upon hundreds of years in different accolades of training regimen and capabilities, allowing him to fully possibly siege any opportunity of possibly, you know, weaponry, capability, or anything against Kratos. And I can see them both jacking each other's weapons and playing into the different theory of how the Thor versus Kratos boss fight was going to be, and it would definitely be a crazy matchup that would be lovely to see in a hypothetical death battle. So again, very close on that part, but I still think that DoomGuy has a lot of arguments to beat Kratos. But if it was just throwing hands and who has better feats and consistencies of those things, it would be given to Kratos. That would be right. But there's also an argument that DoomSlayer would be able to just eventually counter it and be very adept to put through, because he's very much experienced, as much to even more than Kratos. When it comes down to opportunities of weapons and different enableable, you know, counteractions and pushing past different things, I believe that a lot of Kratos' weaponry would give this man DoomSlayer a great deal of problems, being either from the Blades of Exile, Leviathan Axe, Draupnir Spear, the Blade of Olympus, the Power of Hope. A lot of these things would be very craftily weird. It would entirely body this dude, because there's a lot of weapons that can counter this, all different run of things, right, that have advancements, amps, and capabilities that go a lot more stupid if we talk about prep time. But I believe that all around, that if Kratos can fully over spam, utilize his greater mix-up and experience with these weaponry, and tied with him having all of his arsenal, his entire inventory at his disposal, he could fully I feel like, clamp on, the superior, efficient, suffice to say, pit for pit arguments, and utilize these in great mix-up, and eventually mixed bag, arguably try to drain the mix conceptually, just inevitable, insufferable, deterred anger of this man, DoomGuy, in the sense of his possible eternal, literal fucking doom energy in the body, or mixed conceptual existence of this being a pillar of fear in the case of, the Doom world, and conceptually being by mixed comparative, like, narrative and different talks of this that is kind of getting a little bit flimsy when you think about it. There could be an argument that with the Blade of Olympus and the overpower with the power of hope, that he could cease DoomGuy from greater case of existence. It would be very hard to do, and it would very much determine this fight to be the most extreme, inevitable, hard diff for Kratos. But I could see at that point Kratos could pull the victory. If it was a prep time thing, then I think if they just knew of each other's weapons and what they could do, I see DoomGuy using every argument for what he has in expertise, experience, greater boatload of weapons, and the expanded, different collection of weapons that are not just base equipment, that he would win. And I see him having every argument to beat him at that point. But again, it's a very close fight if we equal the stats. But if not, then very much DoomGuy should be the famed Ghost of Sparta. Hope you guys have enjoyed. If you're new here, please leave a like, subscribe, comment, like I said before. If you disagree with this video, like any other video, I'm always willing to go about debating and educating if greater need to, or being educated myself. You know where to hit me. My Discord is RPKing324. Again, hope you guys have enjoyed. Hope you guys have a great, safe, and blessed day. Peace out, my army. Love you.
Wear the tatao. You feel the jungle around you.
For the background case, don't pay touch on like this, my baby girl and a bunch of niggas here, bro. This is ultimate cuckery at its finest. We got a bunch of Will Smiths.